It's the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast with Alex Trataros, John Meleka, and Raisi on the beat. Let's go.
What's good, everyone? Alex Trataros here with another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. And with me is always my buddy, my cousin pal, the man with a plan, the one and only, John Meleka. John, how you doing today, bro? And you know what? I already know how you feel, but the listeners should already know how we feel at this point about this team. But how are you doing, man? How was your weekend? How's everything going?
It's tough, man. It's just tough being a Jets fan. Like, I'm okay in general. I had a good weekend. We're trying to figure out if it's fall, if it's winter. Weird days in New York City.
Summer.
Right now. It was like 60, summer. It was like 60 degrees today. So think things are all right. I had a wedding yesterday. Just been hanging out. It's been good. The Jets, though, man. Oh my God! Like, college football season's coming to an end. It feels like NFL playoffs are right around the corner, and the Jets still stink, man. Just week by week, day by day, and here we are. I'm pretty encouraged about today's game, but here we are, man. Just another day, another L. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, man. I also had a good weekend, chilling. I had a fun, eventful Saturday. Went out for a nice walk, did some writing, hung out with the wife. We got ramen yesterday. Then I decided to pass out at like 8:30 after eating a crap ton of ramen and one bao bun, watching Ted Lasso. Woke up at 11. I was like, I'm still tired. Let me go back to sleep. Woke up at 1, moved from the couch to the bed. Woke up at 7:30 today. I was like, you know what? I got a lot of energy right now. Let me get up. So I had like 10 hours of sleep. I had a crap ton of sleep. So, and then just had to, enjoy the day today. Enjoyed the day. Made pizza, and then got to watch the New York Jets play football. So you know how that ended, because the New York Jets just can't seem to bring us good things on a week-to-week basis. But they do give us good content throughout the week. We had Rex Ryan, who got into an argument. Now he's apologizing to Robert Saleh. Yeah, we get all the good stuff that we want outside of football.
Let's start with that. Because, dude, I'm just innocently watching NFL countdown this morning, no problem. And all of a sudden, the commercial comes back and they start having Jets content. The commercial is all like Jet stuff. Get ready for the Jets. I'm like, oh my God, are they about to talk about the Jets right now? Like, what in the world are they going to talk about right now? Like, Flacco? Is that really what we're going into? It was just like a weird timing. They're about to start, and then all of a sudden, Rex Ryan takes the mic and once again makes a show about him and telling us how he apologized to Saleh, how he brings it all back, how actually Saleh's the best coach for the job now, and how the quarterback is the best quarterback for the job now, and how he's really excited and really confident. Just so silly. But what pissed me off even more was that Sam Ponder was like, oh yeah, that's the only way, we were going to be able to talk about the Jets today. It was if, you could give an apology to your correction for the week. I'm like, oh my goodness. That stuff actually annoys me. I know it's all stupid and it's all, for TV. But that stuff is the stuff that bothers me. Like, Rex Ryan, he wants to get back in the headlines, to do with the New York Jets. I get it. But why put up the show and do this whole thing just to say we suck? But then we came out today and we sucked. So, what can I say at the end of the day, man?
I have no idea, dude. I mean, once again, it's Rex Ryan wanting attention for himself, which is why he's great in media, man. He loves the attention. He loves being in front of the camera. Yeah, no, seriously. He was the most flamboyant coach out there, I guess. Charismatic, whatever. He just brought so much attention to himself. He was truly a personality, the way he would just make all these declarations, which is entertaining for that type of media. Say some team sucks and then they prove you wrong, or some team's great without any true foundation to build it off of. He's great on that. But so is Rex Ryan, and we don't have to talk about him that much. Me, I usually just listen to a podcast before the game, just try to get something else into the zone, because Countdown, as much as I used to love Countdown when you had Berman, sure you can go. I'm sure you can go on ESPN and watch all these things. It's just not the same, man. It's just not the same. But let's get into this, I guess, game, because you know what? I was listening to a podcast. I won't give them any publicity or name or stuff like that, but they decided to talk about the New York Jets this past week. They come out on Saturday, and they were talking about how it was a strange turn of event that the New York Jets decided to go with Joe Flacco. And yes, they're not wrong with that. We were confused about that as well. Most fans were confused about that. Most people were confused about it. Still slightly confusing to a certain degree, even though he played pretty well today. He kept them in the game, much more balanced game because he was able to move the ball, much more veteran savvy quarterback play. Defense didn't feel a lot of pressure. Granted, on the other side of the ball, you didn't have the most talented quarterback, so it wasn't like the defense was out there having to go had the most difficult challenge either. But but the one thing I didn't like about the podcast is that they said Joe Flacco they essentially said, and I'm really watering it down, is that he's old. He's not good anymore in the sense that he's athletic and stuff like that. He can't get the ball out. You're probably better off with Mike White. And then we see today Joe Flacco is able to adjust to the intense blitzing. You know, he's blitzed about 50% of the game by the Miami Dolphins because that's how they like to draw it up. And he's able to get the ball out and have the offense moving. I just find it funny that people, when they talk about the New York Jets, for the most part, there's no real analysis of what's going on. They just figure out a way just to talk down about the Jets, which I get it. They've been a bad franchise before we really get into this game. They've been a bad franchise. I get that. Can you at least give them the benefit of the doubt? First year with Robert Saleh, first year with Mike LaFleur, just drafted a rookie quarterback. Just some sort of just leeway instead of just this whole Jets suck, bash on them. It's like what we have for the New York Knicks, like just go straight for Dolan, except for us, it's just like they're bad. Why are they bad? They're just bad. It's like, thanks for the analysis, bro. Really appreciate it. Let's keep this train moving. I get that they're bad, but there's reasons to why they're bad. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why we honestly didn't even discuss this pre-recording. And I think the reason why we both have the same issue is because we don't really believe it. I don't think we really believe that it's a systematic dumpster fire as we felt this time last year, right? And let's get into this game, man. Let's get into this game right away because, I mean, for some reason, it was a 3-point spread according to Vegas. So Vegas thought it was going to be close. And it indeed was close, man. All game, it was really seesaw, back and forth. We make a mistake, they make a mistake. They do well, we do well. And actually, it's funny. Kind of before we get into the game, I just want to make this little note, and I thought it was really funny. So I know you and I, this game, we were going crazy over that Elijah Moore hold that wasn't called. And then there was the penalty at the end of the game for Pinnock, and we were all flipping out about that too, right? Two like huge plays, and me and you were like, "Oh my goodness, the refs hate us. It must be rigged, whatever." Right? I literally go on Twitter for 2 seconds. The Miami fans are like writing like a thesis about why the refs hate them, like all game, like they're going into it. So I don't know where they saw that, but I guess it's just like every NFL fan base thinks that the ref hates them because. I couldn't believe those two calls, and they were such game changers. So I think that a little bit has to do with why, we lost this game. But of course, it's not an excuse. Let's get down to the actual gameplay. And how can you start off by not talking about Flacco, dude? Flacco played fine today, but besides getting absolutely railroaded from the back after George Font stepped out, I guess we missed. Yep. I'll watch that on film, but I guess we missed communication there. But he played well, dude. 24 for 39, 291 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, what do you want?
Yeah, no interceptions. I mean? Dude balled out. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had 101.6 QB rating. No, he played really well today. And this was against, this is why I'm saying it's so funny that this podcast said he's not athletic. He's not going to be able to handle this. But, he was fine out there today. He's savvy. And like what we discussed on Friday, we discussed that the reason that you go with Joe Flacco is, or it's not why you go with Joe Flacco, but how is he going to perform, right? We discussed how he was going to perform, and he was going to perform by being able to read the blitzes. The game is so slow for him at this point, like visually, mentally, that he's able to adjust and have that type of communication, have the read, so forth. But the one thing that we did see is like missed passes to Keelan Cole on the slant that could have been an easy touchdown, stuff like that. That I did say, where it's like the further he goes down the field, the more of a repertoire you need. And you just saw that limitation. That's why he was dumping it off. And you see passes to like Elijah Moore that just go to the house. Thankfully, I had him starting in both of my leagues where I have him. Cha-ching, baby. Cha-ching. Nice. Yeah, no, but like that's what we saw. We know this is what Joe Flacco was going to do. Is it still was it the right call, I guess, now with hindsight? I would say yes, if you were looking to get development for like Michael Carter and Elijah Moore, saying, hey, let's get someone with stability. Let's get some stability in here for our young guys, because Mike White didn't really have that against Buffalo. Although you can also argue saying maybe you should give Mike White another chance against Miami. You can argue both ways. Honestly, at this point of the season, it doesn't really matter. It depends on what you want out of Mike White. Do you think he's going to be a good backup? Do you want to develop him? I'm partially in the camp saying we should have probably just seen him in one more game and just get another read and just give him more training. But I also understand saying, hey, let's get Joe Flacco out there, get some stability, help the defense out, and help the offense out always.
Yeah, I mean, even hindsight, is he going to do better than what Flacco did today?
No, probably not.
No, exactly. So I kind of understand your point where we want to see him to see what he can do, but I think we already know what he can do.
Yeah,
I legit know that like the game plan was set up so limited because he's limited. You know what I mean? And I think he averaged the least amount of throws ever for a 300+ yard game, right? It was like every throw was under 3 yards or something, or average under something insane. We know what he can do. And honestly, what this move said to me and why I agreed with it was because it's saying that we're trying to win ball games.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's definitely what this is.
It's not time to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? It's not, the season's not over. We're not tanking. It's not last year where it's like, okay, let's try to lose games for Trevor Lawrence, all this nonsense. Like, that's not the case this year. Even though obviously we're not a playoff team, we're not here trying to tank games. We're trying to win ball games. And I think that mentality matters, especially like you said, coming off the top, right? With the rookie head coach, GM who is probably going to have the draft of his career. Yeah, this is the draft of his career. This is it. Yeah. He's going to get fired if he doesn't do well in this offseason.
No, I mean, he already has some fire underneath him. I mean, you see, it's not writing on the wall, but you're starting to see comments about Joe Douglas and questioning his draft record, and his trading has been good so far, right? It's not pristine. It's not perfect, but those two areas are good. The question now, it's the free agency aspect. Although you could say with that trade that he did today for the right guard, I'm going to butcher. I can't even do it. I'll butcher the. Thank you. You're much better than I am at it.
LDT
played much better than Greg Van Roten. The offensive line play was much better today. Much better today, even with the blitzes coming through. Much better.
Yeah. So honestly, with this whole Joe Douglas, criticism, I don't think it's the free agency. I don't think it's the draft. I don't think it's any of that. I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's the depth. We are not putting depth in our premium positions. For example, today, where is Gerard Davis? Where is he? He's not alive. We have Quincy Williams, a guy who was cut from the Jaguars, bro. I know he had amazing games. He had an amazing game today too, but he makes mistakes because and obviously he was cut. And I get he's Q Will's brother. And honestly, without him today, we would have got torched. He was probably our best player on the whole field. So I'm not like clowning him. I'm just saying, like, it's tough to expect that every game from him. Like CJ Mosley, I know he was there today, but has he checked out? Like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of. I think the CJ Mosley experiment is over. So it's really going to be interesting.
When you have Quincy Williams, who's coming off of, being cut, coming out here with 15 total tackles, and you have your highest paid man with 8, and you have Quincy, just running over the place, making tackles left and right, trying his best to cover people. I mean, you clearly see the difference between a guy who's gotten paid and a guy who's trying to get his next contract. That's just really what it is.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the cap is insane. So he, like on our books for next year. So he's gonna be with us next year too. It just feels like we need to stop depending on the one guy, right? Like once one guy goes down, it's all over. That's like the exact opposite of football mentality.
That's the same thing with like Carl Lawson, right? Like he goes down and are like,
oh crap, what are we gonna do? Let's start Shaq Lawson. He just got cut, like, or he's about to get cut. Like we could trade something else. Like, no, we should have these players in place so that we can have the next up mentality. That's what makes the Patriots so like. That's what so that, the criticism, in my opinion, is a little fair, right? Like you're asking for some leeway for some time, but then at the same time they're looking at Mac Jones and they're saying this guy, was drafted later. So what's the problem? And that's the whole thing. He was drafted later and he's on a better team, number one. But number two, that team that he's a part of, they all have the next up mentality. If the tight end is out, Jonathan Smith is out, there's no problem. Henry's going to be there. If one running back is out, no problem. Damian Harris is there. One wide receiver is out, no problem. Someone's there. You know what I'm saying? They had 3 linemen out 1 week for COVID. They were fine. And so that's my issue with Joe Douglas personally. And that's what the Jets are missing is just depth, man. It looks pretty. It looks pretty on top. The toppings are so nice. The icing is beautiful. It really looks nice. But when you cut in that cake, dude, it straight up implodes, bro. It does not even just like straight up you cut and it just implodes. Like one first down, it's over.
No, I hear you on that. And that's why when I look at, this is where I'll give Joe Douglas, I guess, quasi leanway, because usually you have depth when you have good years of drafting, right? It's drafting, signings, all that type of stuff. He's only had 2 years to draft. This is going to be his 3rd year. So now we should have more depth, right? Another year to hopefully sign. And then you could say, oh, well, CJ Mosley on the cap has ruined everything. You had Trumaine Johnson at the same time. You had all these other bad contracts that freaking McCagnon just signed, all these dudes that McCagnon signed. And what can he do with limited funds and limited draft capital when you're coming in, especially midway during the season? This is not to say Joe Douglas isn't like protected from criticism and that he's done a perfect job once again. I think it's just trying to get you and I are just trying to get a full evaluation of what's going on here. But we've kind of beaten off the track here with
what about Corey Davis,
Joe Douglas.
Bro? What about Corey Davis? Want to get back on track? What about Corey
Let's
Davis?
get back on track. Let's get back on this office, because I do agree. And this is an issue with Corey Davis right now, because Corey Davis was signed to be our number 1 wide receiver. Yeah. Although I think we may have found the other number 1 wide receiver on this team. His name is Elijah Moore. So I don't in that aspect, right? When you look at Elijah Moore, who's able to go in any position around the field, you can say he hit on that one. There was a little bit of luck to get Elijah Moore, but he hit on that one, right? And you see today, Elijah Moore, 8 receptions, 141 yards, touchdown. Longest yard was 62-yard run for that TD.
But that was insane.
It was insane, but still,
the Jets were insane. I can't wait to see his miles per hour, what he hit on that, because he's been going to Jonathan Taylor, who, yes, unbelievable monster, 5 touchdowns, but and he had like 22 and 23 miles per hour this year. I'm really hoping Elijah Moore beat that on that run. He was fast.
He booked it and got it in. He barely got in too. But no, with Corey Davis, when you're looking at Corey Davis, who only had 3 receptions today for 35 yards. And this is one of your other big signings. These are the question marks that we can talk about. But if we're going to stick on track to the offense today, obviously the standout was Elijah Moore and how he was able to get involved. You had Jamison Crowder, who was helping in underneath. He got the 6 reception for 44 yards, being like a true slot receiver. And outside of that, it was really the Elijah Moore show, right? Other guys that got on 3 touches were Ryan Griffin, Corey Davis, as we talked about.
Ryan Griffin.
Yeah.
Ryan Griffin played well today.
He did play well today.
Wesco had some nice blocks out there. Like, that's honestly, this is in a vacuum. This was a great game. Like, we made some terrible mistakes, but this game was fine.
The thing was that the mistakes came on the defensive end. We're going to get into the defense. Yeah, shocker. But no, like if you want to keep going down the line, like our running game was good today too. Michael Carter, 9 touches for 63 yards, 7 yards a carry. Insane, bro.
He's good. He's very slippery. He's smart. He's going to turn into a really good player. He's a asset.
And I like Tevin Coleman as a backup now that Tevin Coleman's kind of getting back. Yeah, I know, spicy take after I didn't like it. The way he runs, man, it's a little bit more, he's obviously he can do more out of the backfield. The issue with Tevin Coleman is that he usually gets hurt and you don't have him for most of the season. That's always been his issue, whether he was on Atlanta, whether he was out in San Fran, now on the Jets. The good thing is that he's able to plow through up the middle as we saw today. He's gained those extra yards. He's another guy who's slippery. He can catch out of the backfield just like Michael Carter too. Definitely it would be a good 1-2 punch if he can always stay healthy. Not bad. Ty Johnson's not bad, but that's why he gets more run is because he can stay healthy and he has been healthy throughout the entire season. That's just what it is. But outside on the offense,
Coleman's on number 3. I hope Coleman's on number 3 next year. I hope Michael Carter's on number 2. Tevin Coleman's on number 3, and we grab a number 1 running back somewhere, whether it's a draft or free agency. That'd be sick.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. But yeah, overall, offense played pretty well today. I mean, Joe Flacco played well. Like I said, running backs did a good job. Wide receiver core. I mean, you had Jamison Crowder and Elijah Moore with the 2 touchdowns, and then everyone else kind of slid in. Corey Davis, though, I want to stick on Corey Davis because he's supposed to be the one, as we talked about. And what I dislike,
Neo.
Yeah, what I dislike is that he's not that, and he's a number 2.
To put it simple, Alex.
Like he's just not that. Like good wide receiver after the catch because he's a tank and he can body people, but he's not getting separation, man. I'm gonna watch the film again this week. Yeah. He's not really getting separation. He can get up, he can at the point of attack and get it, but his hands haven't been so surefire as it was down in Tennessee either, and that's a little concerning.
This is different without AJ Brown, man.
I mean,
different. It's a different ball game. It really is. But
this is
maybe Tannehill versus Flacco, maybe not that much difference, but I think you hit it on the head where it's just the coverage is different, man. He's treated as a number 1 because he's lined up as a number 1. Once he's lined up as a number 2 and you shift Elijah Moore to that slot, we're looking like a different squad, man.
You could put Elijah Moore anywhere, man, because he's been everywhere.
I know.
And honestly, he's kind of like I said at the beginning of the season when we had Richie on here. Antonio Brownish. No, I love Elijah Moore. I told you I was
slow though. He was slow. Yeah, but he was slow coming out of the gate.
Yeah, no, slow coming out of the gate. Obviously, like usually wide receiver rookies have a harder time adjusting, but he's adjusting. And I think it also helps that you have better quarterback play, like from someone with Joe Flacco behind center, which is why I'm not so upset anymore with Joe Flacco, being at the helm, being under center. You get to see these guys perform. You get to see Michael Carter perform. You get to see all these guys, and you just felt like that presence. It's weird that, I don't know about you, and let me know this before we move on to the defense. Watching this game today, I felt a little bit more at ease with Joe Flacco because I felt confident that he could actually run an offense and that he knew what he was doing. Even under Adam Gase last season, he looked competent. And today it was just kind of like, all right, I know what we're going to get from Joe Flacco. Obviously, we both thought we would get the win. We didn't get the win. But, hey, I felt confident and comfortable with him under center before we move over to the defense, which I have some problems with the defense, man.
Yeah, so before we get into the defense, my take on Flacco is it kind of validates the Jets' decision to not only bring him in, but also to start him this week. And not only that, it validates me for saying that Joe Flacco was the right decision to start this week over Mike White. And I'm sitting here fighting with people, all over my life, whether it's in real life, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. People messaging us why we shouldn't start Zach Wilson, a guy who you're talking about how this year means nothing, but yet you want to start a franchise quarterback a week early off a ligament knee injury. I mean, it makes no sense at the end of the day.
That makes no sense.
So then we move on to Mike White, and you want to see the only argument is, I want to learn from Mike White. Joe Flacco was so good today, dude. Joe Flacco he was not the problem. The offensive line was fine, even though he had injuries. The wide receivers, like you said, and you hit it on the head. I just think Crowder is such a asset to the team. I really hope we re-sign Crowder on a short-term deal. That would be so cool. I love him so much, man. He is so important to this team. So is Berrios. Berrios is, we're talking about wide receivers, but let's just shift to special teams real quick. Berrios, I mean, he's a game changer, man. Maybe every other game he has a almost break out for a punt or a kick, and he, completely changes the field.
I like him. He's like sure hands. Especially what was crazy is that the Miami Dolphins gunner was in his halo today for that punt, like had his leg underneath him. That's such a dirty play, man. And just playing football myself, like if you get someone's personal space like that when they're returning, it's so fucked up. It's the most fucked up thing you could possibly do because injuries obviously happen too. Like there's just
non-intentional ones though.
They used and where he had his knee too was like the more concerning part. It was like if Berrios makes one false move, we're talking about it's over for Berrios. But
so the special.
But the one thing I want to say about Berrios, sorry, is that the one thing is he's fast, but he's slow at the same time. Does that make sense? Like he's got good strides, but he doesn't have that breakaway speed. He'll get you chunk yardage. You're not going to get. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. But he's like, he would have had that touchdown today if Flacco and him had that little bit more of that rapport, right? We had that little out on the into the end zone. They just missed each other. Yeah. I don't know. So I like him. He's such a good asset in my opinion.
No, yeah, I like him.
Special teams was tough, bro. Special teams was tough today, and I think Edelman was talking about this the other day. He was talking about how the philosophy of football, how you win football games, and it's if you could block someone, if you could run the ball, and if you could defend the kick, right? If you could play special teams, like that's how you win football games. Very simple, coming from the other side, from the dark side. That's the game plan. Which is we just couldn't do it today. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't kick. We couldn't punt the ball in order for us to to field it. We were terrible. We couldn't kick the ball, field goal. Obviously,
we called this too, man.
It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting that the Jets have never had a rookie kicker over 50 yards. That's disgusting,
dude. He didn't even shank him. I don't even know what, like he was just so off by like two. And even
on the radio, the guy was like, I don't know if this is cap or not, but the guy on the radio calling the game was like, I saw him pregame missing kicks too. Of course, after the fact. I don't know if that's the case, but apparently he's missing kicks pregame. If that's the thing, he's gonna be on the hot seat as well. It's just interesting, man. Like when you have like your third string quarterback in, your coaches back against the wall. And now you're sitting here missing kicks and not being able to punt the ball. It drives me nuts, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
get to the defense. Get to the crappy defense. Like,
Matt Amendola. Well, we got to say our kicker's name. Matt Amendola. You got to do better, bro. You can't. We're not going to leave you without saying your name out here. People need to know who you are.
It's his last name, bro.
Yeah, of course. Amendola's. They rarely ever show up in the NFL.
But speaking of rookie records, real quick, and I know we moved on to wide receivers. Did you know that Elijah Moore broke Lavernius' Colts for rookie wide receiver?
Really? There we go.
You know what it is? It's
no.
Disgusting. It's disgusting. It's gonna make you sick to your stomach. 130 yards, bro. It's disgusting, dude. Just let's move on.
Lavernius Cole, we miss you. My God, we've not.
I can't believe Keyshawn wasn't up there. That's what didn't make sense. It's a weird stat by Rich Cimini, but this is what he said. So shout out to Rich. Maybe he'll fix it.
Hey, Rich has seen it. Rich has seen it all, man. Since we were the New York Titans.
Exactly. Yeah, Rich has been there.
But yeah, let's get on to the defense. Most of our penalties came from the defensive side. The one that really
problems, bro. All the problems.
The one that really bothers me too is Dolphins were in the red zone. I think it was third or fourth quarter. And Bryce Hall makes a spectacular play on the ball, only for John Franklin Meyer to get that penalty for roughing the passer, which was roughing the passer because he clearly pushed over Tua way after. And it's like, come on, dude. Come on. This is like the stupid shit that just gets us into these situations where it's like, all right, we could have either had 3 points to go, only given up 3 points. We could have still been in this game. Instead, no, we don't. Instead we give up a touchdown. So the defense is.
Are you okay? I feel like you need a hug right now.
I am not okay, dude, because we're supposed to be relying. I don't know what happened to the defense. I really don't know what happened. We had we balled out against Who was it? Was it, I guess the Titans? Like we were doing really well. Like we did well against the Titans.
We had 2 good games. We had Cincinnati and we had the Titans.
I think the Titans, like we played really well. Like Quincy Williams just came out on the market. You're like, whoa, we got it. We found a diamond in the rough here. And then since the Falcons, it's been shit.
Yep. Well, don't tell me about that Falcons game. They suck so bad. And we just hit them in the 2-week stride that they were just unbelievable, yo. I am so frustrated by the Atlanta Falcons, but it's just more about the Jets, man. It's just more about the frustration with the Jets because they are who we thought they were. Both teams. That's what's so frustrating, Alex. Like, this is my rapid reaction. One rapid reaction. You want to be like, this is it. I'm so frustrated because we all knew this going into the game, man. The defense stinks. We have no safeties. Ashton Davis got himself an interception because Tua stinks. That ball was 30.
I was about to say, dude, this is what I was saying too. Like you just saw it again. Like it can't. They got the deep pass on us.
Every game.
Every game. You were laughing at me where I was like, and they'll probably get a deep ball. You're like, Tua get a deep ball. By the way, Tua is actually known for throwing a really good deep ball. And it just so happens.
Known for stinking. He stinks, bro. I'm watching.
Oh no, I'm not saying if
that was my quarterback, I would also trade him for Deshaun Watson.
I am not saying Tua is good, but he has been rated to have a really good deep ball. That's it. That's all I'm saying. He's rated to have a good deep ball. Not saying he's a good quarterback. Okay, look, even a broken clock is right twice a day,
bro.
So
he got
an
interception to Ashton Davis. What else?
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Like you said, Ashton Davis got his interception. I'm sitting here like, that's nice.
Well,
that's cool,
it, man. Well, honestly, he's gonna make this. He's gonna be on this team for a long time. I bet you. He's gonna be.
He has to. He has to because what was he drafted in the 4th round? He was drafted in the 4th round by JD. His first draft with Mekhi Becton and everybody. Yeah, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. He's gonna be given leeway to work his way up there.
Yep.
Gross.
Honestly, that's all I have for this game. I'm kind of annoyed at Pinnock for that penalty, but dude, the team played so well. Yo, shout out to Quincy Williams. Like, he's gonna be good. I'm really annoyed at this whole Gerard Davis thing, but is what
the thing is. Our corners played well today, except for the mix up for
on Waddle.
Yeah, except for the mix up on Waddle. That was it.
We just suck against Wildcat. It's annoying. Oh, we have no linebackers. So easy. If one more tight end catch, dude, Gesicki scorched us. Stuff out of the running backs. I feel like I could literally, I wish teams would call me.
Not Waddle. Not Waddle. Mac Hollins, the 65-yarder. That's where the mix up happened because the safety was supposed to cover Hollins. Corner was supposed to take the shallow route, and just stuck.
We have no safeties, bro. Niesman and Davis. Like, what are we talking about?
I'm just saying.
Even the guy who started last week, Wilson, wasn't even active. It's tough. Stuff out here. So that's the whole thing, man. That's why at the end of the day,
I feel like you always say, can that just be the quote of this podcast? It's tough out here. It's always tough out here.
Out here, dude. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't understand. At what point do we talk about the fact that we just don't have players in these positions? Like I was saying before, I wish other teams would call me and ask me how to beat the Jets because that's the easiest game plan of all time. If you're a decent head coach, you're smacking this team right now. And it's nothing to do with the fact that our offense this, our quarterback that, our head coach this. This is because we can't guard a tight end or anybody coming out of the backfield or anybody over the top. So, like, basically, if you only throw it in between or run it straight, like not straight, if CJ Mosley's there, if you run it straight or you throw it in between the 5 yards, we'll catch you. Anything else, like, you're going to score points. And so that's why I don't. And you can even have that bend, not break mentality on your defense. Because likely, if we get to the red area, we're probably not going to score. And if we do try to score, we're going to miss the kick. So, you know what I'm trying to say? It's so easy to just beat us, dude. It's nuts.
Absolutely insanity. I just can this team get better? Can this team get better? I feel like I'm just beaten at this point. This team just beats
Zach
me on the
Wilson's
ground.
come back next year, man. Next week.
About to be like next year we're gonna get another Joe Flacco.
No. I think Zach Wilson's coming next week, man. I really do.
I mean, at this point, I do want to
keeping us entertained, huh? They're keeping us entertained.
This football team knows how to keep us entertained for sure, man. It's whether it's in the headlines or it's on the field. They know how to make us glued to the television.
Listen, man, one Jets drive is going to be sick this week.
I am not watching one Jet. I told you, I'm done with the propaganda, bro. Eric Allen, salute to you, my man. You know how to do a way of getting us sucked in. You've been doing this for so long now. I need to know your tricks, man, because you gravitate eyes to this stuff and you somehow get Jets fans hyped up again. I don't know how you do it. You do it though. You're great at your job. I hope Woody Johnson is paying you the big bucks because that without you, I don't think anyone's tuning into this goddamn team. But regardless, let's see who we got coming up next week. We got the Texans coming up next week. This is going to be which bad team's bad?
Dude, Houston's good. Terod Taylor's good. Don't underestimate them. I'm
not underestimating anybody.
We're the New York Jets, bro. They're hyped about us. They're hyped about seeing us.
So like who I have expectations I have expectations for the Knicks. Expectations for the Jets are in the trash right now. They are so low, bro.
But there's still games that matter, man. We have
absolutely.
Tom Brady. We have the Tom Brady game. We have the Jacksonville Trevor Lawrence game.
I'm not saying games don't matter. I'm just saying expectations.
That's 3 big games coming up. We can handle it. We can handle this. We can handle this year, man. We have to look respectable at the end of the year, like we always will. And we're gonna have this ridiculous optimism with all these high draft picks because Jamal Adams stinks.
They just had to really give us another game this year, man. They really had to do this to us.
Thank God it wasn't last year, bro.
No, but really, like they had to do it this year though. Could they just push it off one more game?
I know. I'm excited to see how Zach looks with the new offense. It's really a new offense. Since he's left, it's been everybody's learned, man. LaFleur is comfortable now. But we're not freaking out about his play calls. His play calls are fine. Think about how far we've come.
I agree. But now you need the head of the snake to actually operate it. So can Zach Wilson do it?
I think Zach can do it. He looked okay today in pregame.
Okay.
I think this is the week. I think this is the week he actually practices.
Okay. Hopefully Zach is ready to go for this upcoming week. Got to see what the rookies got. Got to finish them off with these 7 games. Got to finish them off with the 7 games. We got 7 games left. You don't want 6. I like to get 7 in there for him. That way we get a full-on evaluation and have him, get some growth under his belt as a QB.
Flacco might those game reps, bro.
Flacco might just get. I feel like Flacco's that type of guy.
He has a back problem. I can't believe nobody talked about that when he got smashed in the back. Football's so weird sometimes. Like the announcers like freaking out about the weird. The guy just got head in the back. He has back surgery or something. Not even a mention of it. Like not even a hint at it.
We may. I can tell you this. Joe Flacco's probably home right now in a bucket full of ice.
Oh, dude, he's not getting up. He's like, yo, I'm not playing next week, boys.
Can you imagine Joe Douglas like, so Flacco, you're ready to play next? He's like, whoa. You said 1 game. You traded for me. You said you wanted to get 4 up in the booth. You said you needed a veteran quarterback on the sideline. 1 game. Could have stayed on.
It was a good game.
Yeah,
I'm happy. Well, I'm happy. I'm not really. It is what it is. This game is what it is. There's nothing crazy. The flags drive me nuts a little, but everything else is fine. Like safety suck, the linebackers stink. We can't rush a quarterback. Is what it is.
All the normal stuff. All the normal stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing's crazy here. Lost on the flag is what it is, man.
It is what it is. But you know what? You know what, John? At least we got the New York Knicks tonight to watch this game. Right now, they're playing the Chicago Bulls. Bulls are up 25-18. It's about 26.5 seconds left in the first quarter. So I think this is a good place to end it. Wrap up this podcast because guess what, guys? This is the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. So we also cover the Knicks. So make sure to go check out the Knicks podcast too. I know we're heavy in the Jets season. I know you guys are just fanatics like we are. I want to make sure you're caught up on the green and white, and it's all good. So guess what you guys should do? You guys should give us a 5-star rating and leave a comment on Apple Podcasts because that helps us out greatly. That way people can find us, know about us. That way it helps us grow. So please make sure you give us that 5-star review. Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts. If that's where you get your podcast, helps us out so greatly. But if you don't listen to us there, it's okay. We're on Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it, we're there. On top of that, we're also on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit the like buttons on any videos that you watch. Also hit that notification bell. That way you know when we drop another episode there. Also, while you're there, we got Winning Picks Weekly. Check them out. It's John, our video producer, Greg, giving you their weekly picks. Going down the NFL slate. They're getting ready to do some. There is an NBA episode out, but they're getting ready to do some NBA betting. So don't worry. You fanatics still get your gambling fix in for the NBA season as well. Because come on, who doesn't like doing props and all that type of stuff? That's what these guys are here for.
Special Thanksgiving episode, NFL football this week.
Ooh, look at that. Get ready for that. And then last, but certainly not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms, whether that's our personal accounts. You can find John at Meleka on Twitter. You can find me at Tratacaster101 on Twitter. You can also find our podcast. Make sure to follow those on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, at Knicks, Jets, etc. One word, no commas. One word. All right, simple and easy.
We know you're still here because you're bumping to this music, but just like our stuff while you're here.
While you're at it, support Raisi. Support our producer.
Hit up his SoundCloud. He's got stuff on Spotify. He's got the Mortal Kombat album dropping. Guys all over the place.
You know what it is. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in for another Jets episode. Catch us later this week for another Knicks episode and Jets episode. We out.
Let's go, Jets. Happy Thanksgiving week. Let's go.